My brother knocked up my wife, so I cut off my entire family and vanished. No forgiveness, no contact, just pure silence that still haunts them. I need to start with the night everything ended. Not when I confronted them, I never did that. Not when I screamed or cried, I never did that either. The night I'm talking about was quiet, unremarkable. The kind of night that should have been just another Tuesday. I'm Wyatt, 34, construction project manager specializing in infrastructure, dams, bridges, hydroelectric plants. The kind of work that keeps you away from home for weeks at a time. I've been married to Bryn for 5 years, together for 8. She coordinated events at a luxury hotel downtown. My brother Cole was my best man at our wedding. Personal trainer, good guy, always struggled financially, but I helped him out. That's what brothers do, right? I was managing a hydroelectric plant renovation in rural New Mexico. Middle of nowhere, no cell service half the time, living in a work trailer with my crew. We'd been scheduled for another week on site, but we hit a major milestone 2 days ahead of schedule. My supervisor told us to take the rest of the week off. I didn't call ahead. I drove 11 hours straight, got to Denver at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, pulled onto my street, saw the lights off in our house. Bryn's car in the driveway, Cole's truck parked right behind it. I didn't pull into the driveway. I parked across the street 3 houses down, engine off, lights off. I sat there. My brain did that thing where it tries to find innocent explanations. Maybe his truck broke down. Maybe he needed a place to crash. Maybe at 1:3 a.m. my front door opened. Cole walked out first, then Bryn wearing my old college t-shirt and nothing else. They stood on my porch, the porch I built with my own hands, and they kissed. Not a peck, not a friendly goodbye, a real kiss. The kind that means something. He got in his truck. She watched him drive away, arms wrapped around herself in the cold. Then she went back inside. I sat in my car until the sun came up. Then I drove to a motel off I-25 and checked in for a week. The next 7 days I became someone else. I went home like nothing happened. Kissed Bryn goodbye every morning. Told her I had meetings, site visits, paperwork. Instead, I watched. I investigated. I learned our bank statements showed Cash App transfers to Cole, $200 here, $150 there. When I'd asked about them months ago, she'd said, just reimbursing him for groceries when you're away. He's been so helpful. Helpful, right? I checked her phone while she was in the shower. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed either. The messages went back 5 months. Graphic, detailed. Planning their time together around my work schedule. Wednesday back in New Mexico. Next Wednesday, we'll have the whole weekend. I didn't delete anything, just took screenshots. Saved them to a cloud account she didn't know about. Then I found the pregnancy test. It was in the bathroom trash, buried under tissues and cotton pads like she was hiding it. Positive, clear as day. She hadn't told me, but when I checked her phone again, she'd told Cole. 3 days ago, his response, holy crap, is it mine? Her response, I think so. He hasn't touched me in months. I did the math. I'd been gone for 6 of the last 8 weeks, home only for a long weekend in between. The timeline worked. It wasn't mine. That night I came home at my normal time, kissed her hello, asked about her day. Good, she smiled. Cole came by to fix the back fence gate. The latch was sticking. I nodded. That's nice of him. He's always been so helpful. I made dinner. We watched TV. We went to bed. I held her like I always did. Inside, I was already gone. For 2 more weeks, I played the perfect husband. Loving. Attentive, present, all while I gathered every piece of evidence I'd need. Bank records, messages, photos, timelines. I documented everything with the precision I used to manage multi-million-dollar construction projects. Then came the family barbecue at my parents' house. Standard Sunday afternoon thing, my folks, my aunt and uncle, grandmother, Cole, Bryn, everyone acting normal. That's when I learned the truth wasn't just about my wife and my brother. I didn't scream, didn't accuse. I played the loving husband for 2 more weeks while I gathered every piece of evidence I'd need. Then I went to a family barbecue at my parents' house. That's when I learned it wasn't just them, it was everyone. Sunday afternoon at my parents' place, standard barbecue. Dad manning the grill, Mom fussing over side dishes, my grandmother holding court in her lawn chair. My aunt and uncle brought potato salad. Cole showed up with beer. Bryn wore a sundress that hid the early pregnancy she still hadn't told me about. Everyone acted normal. I watched. That's what I'd become good at, watching. Cole and Bryn were careful. They didn't stand too close, didn't talk directly to each other much, but I saw it. The quick glances when they thought no one was looking. The way they positioned themselves in the same general area of the yard, like magnets that couldn't help but drift toward each other. What made my stomach turn wasn't them. It was everyone else. My mother watched them too, so did my aunt, so did my father, and they weren't shocked or confused. They were monitoring, like parents watching toddlers, making sure they behaved. They knew. I decided to test it. "Hey, Dad," I said, beer in hand, casual as Sunday afternoon. "Looks like the New Mexico project might extend another 6 months. They want me to oversee the next phase." Great money, my mother's face fell, actual visible distress. "Oh, honey," she said, "is that really necessary? You're away so much already." Bryn shifted on her feet, staring at her plate. Cole suddenly found his phone fascinating. My father set down his spatula. "Wyatt, can we talk inside for a minute?" "Sure, the kitchen." My father, mother, and aunt. They closed the door behind us like I was about to get grounded. Dad spoke first. "Son, we need to discuss something." I waited. Mom folded her hands. "We know you've been working so hard, and we're so proud of you, but—" Bryn's been struggling, being alone so much. I said nothing. My aunt jumped in. "Cole's been helping her around the house." And, well, Dad cleared his throat. "They've gotten close. I let the silence hang there, watched them squirm." "Close," I repeated, flat, no emotion. My mother reached for my hand. I pulled it back. "We were going to talk to you about it," she said. "We just didn't know how. You're gone so much, and they're both adults, and these things happen." "These things happen," I said. "Wyatt, we understand you might be upset," my aunt said. "But Cole really cares about her, and she cares about him. They didn't mean for it to happen." I looked at my father. The man who taught me about integrity, about being a man of your word, about family loyalty. "How long have you known?" I asked him. He couldn't meet my eyes. "About 3 months. 3 months. While I was working 12-hour days in the desert. While I was sending money home to pay our mortgage. While I was FaceTiming Bryn before bed every night telling her I missed her. My family knew. And they'd chosen them. The baby," I said. "You know about that too." My mother's face went pale. "She told you? She didn't have to." "Wyatt, please," Mom started. "This is complicated." "It's really not." I walked out of the kitchen, through the living room, past my grandmother who was pretending not to listen but definitely listening, out the front door. Bryn caught up to me at my truck. "Wyatt, wait." "Don't," I said. "Please let me explain." "Explain what?" "That you've been fucking my brother for 5 months, that you're pregnant with his kid. That my entire family has known and decided not to tell me. Which part needs explaining, Bryn?" She started crying. The kind of crying that's supposed to make men crumble, make us forgive. "Make us understand. I never meant to hurt you," she sobbed, "but you did it anyway. I was lonely, you're never here, Cole was just there. And it happened and I tried to stop it, but you didn't stop it. You kept going for 5 months in our bed, in our house, while I was working to support us." "I know," she whispered. "I know, and I'm so sorry, but maybe this is a sign that we're not right for each other, that you and I, we've grown apart." "We've grown apart," I repeated. "Is that what we're calling it?" Cole came out of the house, walked right up to us like he had any right to be part of this conversation. "Wyatt, man, I held up my hand. "Don't. I don't want to hear it. I never meant for this to happen. It just did, and I know you're pissed, but—" "I'm not pissed," I said. That stopped him. He'd expected rage, yelling. Maybe even a punch. He'd prepared for that version of this conversation. "You're not," Bryn said, confused. "No, I'm done." I got in my truck, started the engine. They were both talking at once, but I couldn't hear them anymore. Didn't want to. I drove home, our home, the house I'd bought. The house I'd renovated with my own hands, every tile in the bathroom. Every fixture, every painted wall. I packed a bag, clothes, documents, the important stuff, left everything else. Then I drove to my office, logged into my computer, started making calls. Monday morning, I met with my lawyer, Barbara Chen, 55, divorced 3 times, no patience for cheaters or liars. "Tell me everything," she said. I did, showed her the evidence, the messages. The bank transfers, the timeline, the pregnancy test photo I'd taken. She leaned back in her chair. "This is airtight. Colorado is a no-fault state, but this evidence means she's not getting alimony." "Not a chance. House is in your name." "Yes, bought before marriage, 2 years before. Then it's yours, any joint accounts, one checking, about $8,000 in it. Withdraw half today." Open a new account she doesn't have access to. Change your direct deposit. Do it now. I did all of it before lunch. That afternoon, I met with my supervisor. Asked for the extended assignment in New Mexico. 6 months minimum, possibly a year. You sure? He asked. That's a long time away from home. I don't have a home to go back to? He didn't ask questions, just approved the transfer, effective immediately. By Tuesday, I was back in New Mexico. By Wednesday, Bryn got the divorce papers. I know because she called me 47 times. I didn't answer, she texted. I didn't read them, my mother called, I declined. My father declined, Cole blocked. They tried to show up at my office. My assistant told them I was on assignment, out of state. No return date scheduled. The divorce took 4 months. Barbara handled everything. I didn't attend a single hearing, didn't need to. The evidence spoke for itself. Bryn contested the house, said she deserved half because she'd lived there. Barbara destroyed that argument. Showed that I'd paid 100% of the mortgage, 100% of the renovations, 100% of the utilities. Bryn's name wasn't on any of it. She tried to claim she needed financial support because of the pregnancy. Barbara filed a motion for paternity testing. Bryn withdrew her claim the next day. The final decree was simple. House, mine, cars, we each kept our own. Joint account already split, no alimony. No child support because legally it wasn't my kid. Clean break, except my family wouldn't let it be clean. My mother sent letters. Long, handwritten letters about family and forgiveness and how I was breaking her heart by shutting everyone out. I returned them unopened. My father showed up at my work site in New Mexico. Drove 11 hours to talk to me. Security turned him away at the gate. I'd put him on the no-access list. Cole tried email. Brother, please, we need to talk. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But we're family. We can work through this. I set up an auto-filter. Everything from him went straight to trash. What they didn't understand, what none of them understood, was that I wasn't angry anymore. Anger requires engagement, requires caring. I didn't care. They'd made their choice. They'd chosen Cole and Bryn. They'd watched it happen for 3 months and said nothing. They'd planned to keep hiding it from me. Probably would have if I hadn't caught them myself. So I made my choice. I chose me. I chose my peace. I chose to cut out the entire infected part of my life and move on. 6 months into the New Mexico project, I got a promotion. Senior project manager. $30,000 pay raise, more responsibility, more travel. I accepted immediately. My new assignment was in Alaska, hydroelectric dam, 16 months minimum, middle of nowhere. Perfect, I sold the house in Denver. Made $140,000 profit, put it all in investments and savings. Bought a small condo in Anchorage as a home base, but I was never there, always on site. Always working, work became everything. Not because I was running from anything, because I genuinely loved it. Loved building things that mattered. Loved solving complex problems. Loved the simplicity of it. You do the work gets done. No lies, no betrayals, just math and physics and concrete results. A year passed, then 2, then 3. I dated occasionally. Nothing serious. I was honest with women from the start. I wasn't looking for a relationship. Some were okay with that, some weren't. No hard feelings either way. My life became beautifully simple. Work, gym, reading, hiking, some casual dating. Good friends in the industry who didn't ask about my family. I thought about them sometimes. Wondered if Bryn had the baby, if it was healthy. If she and Cole were together or if that had fallen apart too. But I didn't wonder enough to look. Didn't care enough to check social media. Just passing thoughts that drifted away like smoke. Then 3.5 years after I left, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Alaska area code. Mr. Wyatt Morrison, a woman's voice, professional. Speaking, this is Rebecca Hartley from Mountain View Hospital. I'm calling about your grandmother, Dorothy Morrison. My stomach dropped. Is she okay? She's in our ICU. She had a major stroke yesterday evening. Your mother listed you as next of kin, but we haven't been able to reach her. Do you know how we can contact her? No, we're not in contact. Pause. I see, Mr. Morrison, your grandmother is in critical condition. If you'd like to see her, you should come soon. I booked a flight that night. Landed in Denver the next afternoon. Went straight to the hospital. My grandmother was unconscious, tubes and wires everywhere, monitors beeping. She looked so small, so fragile. The nurse at the desk told me my family had been there earlier. My mother, father, Cole. They'd gone home to rest, she said, would be back in the evening. I asked the nurse to note in the chart that I was there, that I was her grandson, and that under no circumstances should anyone inform my family of my presence. I need to speak with the doctor about her condition, I said. But I don't want to see my family. Is that possible? She looked at me for a long moment. Nurses see everything. They know family drama when they see it. I'll make a note, she said. The doctor will be by in about an hour. I sat with my grandmother, held her hand. It was cold and papery. She'd always been so vibrant, so full of life. Now she was just fading. Hey, Grandma, I said quietly. It's Wyatt, I'm here. No response, just the beep of monitors. I'm sorry I stayed away so long. I know you probably don't understand why. I'm not sure I do anymore either. I paused. No, that's a lie. I do understand. I couldn't be around them. Not after what they did. Not after they all knew and said nothing. The monitor beeped steadily. You probably knew too, didn't you? At that barbecue, you were watching everyone. You always see everything. I squeezed her hand gently. I don't blame you. You're not the one who betrayed me. You were just stuck in the middle. The doctor came by, Dr. Patel. Young, maybe early 40s, kind eyes. Mr. Morrison, I'm glad you're here. Your grandmother's condition is serious. The stroke affected a significant portion of her brain. Right now we're keeping her comfortable, but the next 48 hours are critical. Will she wake up? It's possible, but even if she does, there will likely be significant impairment. Speech, mobility, possibly cognition. It's too early to know the extent. What are her chances? He met my eyes. Honestly, not good at her age with a stroke this severe. I'd say 30% chance she makes it through the week, and if she does, quality of life is a major concern. I nodded. Thank you for being straight with me. Of course. Will you be staying? As long as I need to. I stayed until 6 p.m. Then the nurse came in looking nervous. Your family just called. They're on their way. 15 minutes out. Thank you. I stood up, kissed my grandmother's forehead. I'll be back tomorrow, Grandma, early before they get here. I left through a side exit. Sat in my rental car in the parking lot and watched them arrive. My mother's car, my father driving, Cole in the passenger seat. They looked older. My mother's hair had more gray. My father had gained weight. Cole looked tired, like life hadn't been kind. Good, I drove to a hotel, not a nice one, just a Holiday Inn off the highway, checked in, ordered room service. Ate alone while watching TV. The next morning I was back at the hospital at 6 a.m. The family wouldn't arrive until at least 9. That gave me 3 hours. My grandmother looked the same. No chain. I sat with her, read her the newspaper, told her about my work in Alaska. At 8:45 I left, came back at 1 p.m. during lunch when I knew they'd probably leave to eat, stayed until 3. Left before they returned. This pattern continued for 3 days. I was a ghost, there but not there. The nurses knew, they helped. They'd text me when the family left, when they arrived. On the 4th day, my grandmother opened her eyes. I was alone with her. 7 a.m. The morning light was coming through the window. Grandma, I leaned forward. Can you hear me? Her eyes found mine. Confused, scared, but there. It's okay, I said. You're in the hospital. You had a stroke, but you're going to be okay. She tried to speak. Nothing came out but a soft sound. Don't try to talk. Just rest, I'm here. She squeezed my hand, weak but definite. I hit the call button. The nurse came in, saw my grandmother awake, and immediately called for the doctor. Doctor. Patel arrived within minutes. Did his assessment. Asked my grandmother simple questions. Squeeze once for yes, twice for no. She could respond. Not reliably, but she could do it. This is very good, Dr. Patel said. Better than I expected. She's fighting. That's Grandma, I said. She's always been a fighter. The doctor left to run more tests. The nurse stayed, checking vitals. Your family will want to know, she said gently, that she's awake. I know, I looked at my grandmother. But I need to leave before they get here. My grandmother's eyes found mine again. Her hand squeezed, once hard. No, she didn't want me to leave. Grandma, another squeeze, more insistent. You want me to stay? One squeeze, yes. Even if that means seeing them. One squeeze, I sat back down. Okay, I'll stay, the nurse smiled. I'll give you some privacy. My grandmother and I sat there in silence. She couldn't talk. I didn't know what to say, but her hand held mine, and that was enough. At 9:30 a.m., I heard them in the hallway, my mother's voice, high-pitched with anxiety. The nurse called and said she's awake. Oh, thank God she's awake. The door opened. My mother came in first. Saw my grandmother, saw me. She stopped dead. Her hand went to her mouth. Wyatt! My father came in behind her, then Cole. They all froze like they'd seen a ghost. In a way, they had. My grandmother squeezed my hand. I didn't move. Hi, Mom, I said, neutral, flat. You're here. She looked like she might cry or faint or both. Grandma had a stroke. Of course I'm here. But we've been trying to reach you for years. We didn't know, we thought. Thought what? That I'd died, disappeared off the face of the earth. I just stopped talking to you, that's all. Cole stepped forward. Brother, don't call me that. He stopped. Hurt flashed across his face. I felt nothing. Wyatt, my father said. We need to talk. No, we don't. I'm here for Grandma, not for you. My mother was crying now. Please, please, we've missed you so much. We've been so worried. You made your choice 3.5 years ago. I made mine. There's nothing to discuss. But we're family, she said. You can't just cut us out forever. Yes, I can. I did, and I'd do it again. The room was silent except for the beep of monitors and my mother's quiet sobbing. My grandmother squeezed my hand again. I looked at her. Her eyes were clear. Focused on me with an intensity that surprised me. She was trying to say something. Her mouth moved, but no words came. It's okay, Grandma, don't strain yourself, she kept trying, frustrated. Desperate to communicate, the nurse came back in with Dr. Patel. The speech therapist is on her way. She might be able to help facilitate some basic communication. 20 minutes later, a woman in her 30s arrived with a tablet and some cards. She introduced herself as Michelle, worked with my grandmother for a few minutes, then set up a simple yes-no system with picture cards. She can point to the card, Michelle explained. It's not perfect, but it's a start. My grandmother immediately pointed to a card, then another. Michelle helped interpret. She wants to say something to everyone. We all gathered closer. My mother, father, and Cole on one side of the bed, me on the other. My grandmother pointed slowly. Michelle spoke the words. Stop this foolish fighting. My mother started crying harder. My grandmother wasn't done. She pointed again. Wyatt right to be angry. Cole's face fell, more pointing. You all failed him. My father looked down at his feet. But family is. Family, my grandmother's eyes locked on mine. She pointed at me specifically. Life too short. Then she pointed at my mother. You failed as mother. My mother let out a sob, pointed at Cole. You betrayed your brother. Cole's face crumpled, pointed at my father. You should have stopped this. My father nodded, tears in his eyes, then she looked at me again, pointed. But forgiveness gives you peace. I shook my head. Grandma, no, you don't understand. She squeezed my hand so hard it hurt, pointed urgently. I understand everything. Pause, you are. Right, pause, but still suffering. I wanted to argue, to tell her I wasn't suffering, that I was fine, that my life was better without them. But looking at her determination to be heard even when her own body was failing her, I couldn't lie. I don't know how to forgive this, I said quietly. She pointed again. Don't have to. Forget, pause, just let go anger. Pause, holding on hurts you most. The room was silent, everyone watching, waiting. My grandmother pointed again, slower now, she was getting tired. Love you all, pause, fix this before I go. You're not going anywhere, Grandma, I said. She gave me a look. The same look she'd given me when I was 8 years old and told her I hadn't eaten the cookies that were clearly smeared on my face. She knew. We all knew. Dr. Patel had said 48 hours were critical. We were on day 4. She'd woken up. She'd communicated. But she was 84 years old with a massive stroke. This might be all we got. Can we have a moment? My mother asked. All of us together. Please, Wyatt. My grandmother squeezed my hand. One squeeze, yes, she wanted this. Fine, I said, but not here. Grandma needs to rest. We moved to a family waiting room down the hall, sterile. Uncomfortable chairs, fluorescent lights. A coffee maker with burned coffee from 6 hours ago. I stood by the window, they sat. I wasn't going to make this easy. My father spoke first. Son, don't call me son. You lost that right when you hid the affair from me for 3 months. He nodded slowly. You're right, I did. And I've regretted it every day since. Regret doesn't fix anything. I know, he looked old, worn down, but I need you to understand why we did it, not to excuse it. Just to explain. I don't care why, please, my mother interrupted. Please just listen, then if you want to leave and never see us again, we'll accept that. But let us say this. I crossed my arms. 5 minutes. My father stood up, started pacing. When we realized what was happening between Cole and Bryn, we were horrified. Your mother and I, we argued about it for days. Should we tell you? Should we confront them? Should we stay out of it? You should have told me. Yes, we should have. But we were scared. He stopped, faced me. Scared of losing you, both of you. Cole is our son too, and we thought. We thought if we could get them to stop, to end it before you found out, we could save everyone. That wasn't your decision to make? No, it wasn't. We know that now. My mother's voice was shaking. We tried to talk to them. We told them they had to stop, that they were destroying a marriage, a family. Cole said he would. He said it was already over. But it wasn't, I said flatly. No, Cole spoke up. It wasn't. I lied to them too. I lied to everyone. I looked at him for the first time, really looked at him. He'd lost weight, had dark circles under his eyes. His hands were shaking slightly. Why? I asked. Why'd you do it? Because I'm a piece of shit, he said. No excuses, no justifications. Because I was jealous of you. Your success, your marriage, your life. You had everything figured out, and I was barely keeping my head above water. And Bryn was there, and she was lonely, and it started as just talking, and then it became more. And I knew it was wrong, but I did it anyway. You were my best man at our wedding. I know. You stood there and watched me promise to love her forever. And 2 years later, you were sleeping with her in my bed. I know, his voice cracked. I know, and there's nothing I can say that makes it okay. Nothing. I destroyed the most important relationship in my life because I'm selfish and weak, and I couldn't stand being the fuck-up little brother anymore. So you decided to fuck my wife instead. He flinched. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And the baby, born healthy, a boy, Bryn named him Oliver. Something twisted in my chest, not jealousy, not longing, just acknowledgement that somewhere out there was a kid who existed because of this betrayal. Are you with her, Bryn? Cole laughed, bitter. No, that lasted about 4 months after you left. Turns out when your relationship is built on lies and betrayal, it doesn't have a great foundation. She moved to Oregon. I barely see Oliver. I pay child support and she lets me visit once a month if I'm lucky. Good, I said. Wyatt, my mother tried again. We know we failed you. We know we prioritized keeping the peace over doing what was right. And we've paid for it. We lost you. For 3.5 years we've lost you, and it's been unbearable. You made that choice. We did, and if we could go back, we'd do everything differently. We'd tell you immediately. We'd support you through the divorce. We'd choose you over Cole, over keeping things comfortable. But we can't go back. All we can do is tell you that we're sorry and ask you to consider. Consider what? Forgiving you. Coming back to family dinners and pretending none of this happened. No, my father said. We're not asking for that. We're just asking for a chance, not to go back to how things were. That's impossible, but maybe to build something new, something honest. I don't trust any of you. You shouldn't, Cole said. We haven't earned it, but maybe over time we could. If you let us try. I turned back to the window, watched traffic moving on the street below, people going about their normal lives, no idea about the drama playing out in this shitty waiting room. I've built a good life without you, I said. A simple life, no drama, no lies, just work and peace and quiet. Why would I give that up? Because Grandma's right, my mother said softly. Holding on to this anger is hurting you. We can see it, even if you can't. I'm not angry anymore, I'm indifferent. That's worse, she said. Anger means you still care. Indifference means you're numb. And baby, you're not numb, you're just pretending to be. I hated that she was right. Hated that even after everything, she could still read me. What do you want from me? I asked. Specifically, what would make this okay for you? Nothing will make it okay, my father said, but if you could just not shut us out completely. Answer a call occasionally, maybe visit Grandma together, small steps, that's all we're asking. And if I can't? If I try and it's too hard and I need to walk away again, then we'll accept that, my mother said. We won't chase you, we won't guilt you, we'll let you go, but please, please just try. For Grandma, she's got weeks, maybe months if we're lucky. Let her see her family together one more time. I thought about my grandmother. About her determination to communicate even when her body was failing. About the message she'd painstakingly spelled out. Forgiveness gives you peace, but did it? Or was that just something people said to make betrayal easier to swallow? I need to think, I said finally. I'm not promising anything. But I'll think about it. That's all we ask, my father said. We went back to my grandmother's room. She was asleep. The nurse said she'd tired herself out with the communication effort. I sat with her for another hour. My family stayed too, but on the other side of the room. We didn't talk, just existed in the same space. It was awkward and uncomfortable and strange. But it was something. That night I went back to my hotel, ordered room service again, sat on the bed with my laptop. I pulled up my email, searched for Cole's name. Found all those messages he'd sent that had been auto-filtered to trash. I started reading. Most were exactly what I expected. Apologies, explanations, justifications. But there was one, sent about 6 months after I left, that was different. Wyatt, I'm not going to apologize again. You've heard it enough and I know it doesn't matter. What I did is unforgivable. I know that, I accept that. But I need to tell you something, not for me, for you. Dad had a health scare last month, chest pains, ended up being nothing, just stress and too much fried food. But for about 6 hours we thought he was having a heart attack, and all I could think was that you weren't there. That if he died, you'd never know. That I'd stolen that from you too. You have every right to hate me, to never speak to me again. But don't let what I did cost you your relationship with Mom and Dad. They messed up. They absolutely messed up by not telling you. But they're still your parents. They still love you. Grandma asks about you every Sunday, wants to know if we've heard from you. We always say no, and every time she looks a little sadder. I took everything from you. Don't let me take them too. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just asking you to think about it. Cole, I sat there staring at that email for a long time. Then I pulled up my phone and scrolled through my contacts, found Derek's number, called him. Wyatt, shit man, how are you? Still freezing your ass off in Alaska? Actually, I'm in Denver. My grandmother had a stroke. Oh man, I'm sorry, is she okay? She's fighting, but it's bad. You need anything? Yeah. I need you to tell me if I'm being an idiot. About what? I told him everything. The hospital, the confrontation, my grandmother's message, the conversation with my family. When I finished, Derek was quiet for a moment. You want my honest opinion? He asked. Always. I think you're the only one who can decide this, but I'll say this, I've known you for 15 years. And in the 3.5 years since you cut them off, you've been successful, you've been stable, you've been fine. But you haven't been happy, not really. I'm not unhappy. No, you're just going through the motions. Work, gym, sleep, repeat. That's not a life, man, that's just existing. Existing is easier than being hurt again. Yeah, it is. But is it better? I didn't have an answer for that. Look, Derek continued, I'm not saying you have to forgive them. What they did was fucked up, all of them. But your grandmother's right about one thing. Holding on to this is costing you. Maybe not in obvious ways, but in the small ways. The ways that add up over time. So what do I do? You decide what you can live with. Can you live with never speaking to them again? If your dad drops dead tomorrow, will you be okay with that? If your mom dies and you weren't there, will you be able to make peace with it? Those aren't rhetorical questions. Really think about it. I spent that night thinking about Derek's questions. Lying in a hotel bed that smelled like industrial detergent, staring at the ceiling, running through scenarios. My father dying, my mother dying, never seeing them again. Never having the chance to even try, and I realized something. I wasn't holding on to anger to protect myself. I was holding on to it because letting go felt like admitting they'd won. Like saying what they did was okay. But my grandmother hadn't said forget, she'd said let go. There's a difference. I could let go of the anger without forgetting what happened. I could have a relationship with my family without trusting them the way I used to. I could move forward without pretending the past didn't exist. The next morning, I went back to the hospital early. My grandmother was awake, alert. She smiled when she saw me. Hey, Grandma, I said, taking her hand. She pointed at the tablet Michelle had left. I held it up for her. You thought about it? Yeah, I did. And I'm still angry, I'm still hurt, and I don't know if I can ever fully trust them again. She nodded, pointed again. That's okay, but I don't want to lose you. And I don't want to regret not trying, so I'll try, small steps, no promises, but I'll try. She squeezed my hand, hard, her eyes filled with tears. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I might fail at this spectacularly. She pointed again, and this time there was humor in her eyes. You, Morrison, stubborn, will succeed. I laughed, first real laugh I'd had in days. My family arrived around 9 a.m., same as they had every day. But this time, when they walked in, I didn't leave. My mother looked surprised, hopeful. I talked to Grandma, I said. And I've decided I'm willing to try, to see if we can build something, but there are conditions. Anything, my father said immediately. First, we don't pretend the past didn't happen. No sweeping it under the rug. No, let's just move on. What happened happened. We acknowledge it. They all nodded. Second, I need honesty, complete honesty. If something's wrong, if there's conflict, if there's anything I should know, you tell me. No more protecting me from uncomfortable truths. Agreed, my mother said. Third, boundaries. I'm not going to every family event. I'm not doing every holiday. Sometimes I'll need space and you have to respect that. No guilt trips. No, but we're family manipulation. We can do that, my father said. I looked at Cole. And you, I don't know if we'll ever be brothers again, not the way we were, but I'm willing to be civil. To coexist, that's the best I can offer right now. Cole's voice was thick. That's more than I deserve. Yeah, it is. My grandmother was pointing at the tablet again. We all looked, proud of. You all, the next 2 weeks I stayed in Denver, took leave from work, sat with my grandmother every day. And slowly, carefully, I started letting my family back in. It wasn't easy. There were moments of tension, awkward silences, times when old patterns started to emerge and I had to shut them down. Like when my mother tried to invite me to a family dinner and got upset when I said no. But it's just dinner, she said. We haven't had everyone together in so long. Mom, I said I needed to go at my own pace. This is too much too soon. She'd started to argue, then caught herself. You're right, I'm sorry. I'm just excited to have you back. I'm not back, not the way I was, I'm just, here, there's a difference. She nodded. I understand, small victories. Cole and I had exactly one real conversation during those 2 weeks. It was late, around 10 p.m. I'd been at the hospital all day and stopped by my parents' house to pick up some documents my mother had for me. He was there, sitting on the back porch, drinking a beer. Want one? He offered. Sure, we sat in silence for a few minutes, then he spoke. I think about it every day, you know, what I did, how I blew up your life, how I destroyed the one person who always had my back. Good. You should think about it. I don't expect you to forgive me, ever, but I need you to know it had nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything wrong, you didn't deserve it, it was all me. All my shit. I know that. Do you? Because for a while I was worried you'd blame yourself somehow, like you being away for work made it your fault or something. I did blame myself. For about a week, then I realized that's bullshit. You made a choice. Bryn made a choice. Those choices had nothing to do with me. He nodded. How do you do it? How do you just move on? I didn't move on. I moved away. There's a difference. And now I'm trying something new, trying to move forward instead. What's the difference? Moving on means forgetting. Moving forward means remembering but not letting it control you anymore. He was quiet for a long time. I'm glad you're here, even if you hate me. I'm glad you're here for Grandma. I don't hate you, I said, and I realized it was true. I don't feel anything for you. You're just a guy who used to be my brother. Maybe someday you'll be more than that again. Maybe not. We'll see. It was brutally honest, but it was true. My grandmother held on for another 3 weeks. The doctors were amazed. They said her will to live was extraordinary. I think she was just stubborn. Wanted to make sure we'd actually stick to this before she let go. I visited every other day. Sometimes my family was there, sometimes they weren't. We developed a rhythm, a new normal. It wasn't the same as before, it never would be, but it was something. 3 weeks and 2 days after her stroke, my grandmother died peacefully in her sleep. I wasn't there. None of us were. The nurse said she'd been stable all day, then around 2 a.m. she simply stopped breathing. The funeral was small, family only. I gave a eulogy. My grandmother was the strongest person I knew, I said. Not because she was physically strong, but because she never let circumstances break her. She survived the Depression, World War II, the loss of her husband, and more family drama than any person should have to deal with. And through it all, she kept loving us. Even when we didn't deserve it. I looked at my family. She taught me something important in her last weeks. She taught me that forgiveness isn't about letting people off the hook. It's about refusing to let their mistakes define your life. It's about choosing peace over punishment. She taught me that you can acknowledge hurt without being consumed by it. My mother was crying. My father had his arm around her. Cole sat alone, tears streaming down his face. She also taught me that family is complicated, that love and disappointment can exist in the same space. That you can be angry with someone and still care about them, That second chances are hard but worth trying for. I paused. I'm not going to stand here and pretend everything's fixed. That we're all one big happy family again. We're not. We're broken people trying to figure out how to exist together, but we're trying. And I think that's what she wanted most, not perfection. Just effort. After the funeral, we all went back to my parents' house. It was strange being there again. Everything looked the same but felt different. My mother made coffee. My father ordered pizza because nobody felt like cooking. We sat around the kitchen table, the same table where we'd had thousands of meals over the years. "What now?" my mother asked. "Where do we go from here?" "I don't know," I said honestly. "I'm going back to Alaska in a few days. I have a project to finish." Will you stay in touch?" "Yeah, I will. I'll call sometimes. Answer when you call me. Visit when I can, but I need you to understand this is a process. There will be setbacks. There will be times when it's too hard and I need space. You have to be okay with that." "We will be," my father said. "We're just grateful you're giving us a chance." Cole cleared his throat. "Can I say something?" We all looked at him. "I know I don't have the right to ask for anything, but I want you to know that I'm working on myself. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to figure out why I do the destructive shit I do. And whether or not we ever have a relationship again, I want you to know that I'm sorry. Not just for what I did, but for all of it. For being the kind of person who could do that to you." I nodded. "I appreciate that. That's it, just I appreciate that. What do you want me to say, Cole, that I forgive you? I don't, not yet, maybe not ever, but I appreciate that you're trying to be better." "That's all I've got right now." He nodded slowly. "That's fair." We sat there for a while longer talking about small things, memories of my grandmother, funny stories, easier topics. Around 10 p.m. I stood up to leave. "I'll see you all at some point," I said. "I don't know when, but I will." My mother hugged me long and tight. "I love you," she whispered. "I know," I said. And I did. My father shook my hand, then pulled me into a hug. "Thank you for coming back, for trying. Thank you for being honest, finally." Cole stood awkwardly by the door. I extended my hand. He looked surprised but shook it. "Take care of yourself," I said. "You too, brother," he paused. "Sorry, you too, Wyatt." I drove back to my hotel, packed my bags. Flew back to Alaska the next morning. That was 6 months ago. I still live in Alaska, still work on big infrastructure projects, still love my job, but things are different now. I call my mother every Sunday. We talk for about 20 minutes. Sometimes it's awkward, sometimes it's nice, but we talk. My father and I text occasionally, usually about sports or work. Surface-level stuff, but it's communication. Cole and I are civil. We're not close. We probably never will be. But when I'm in town, we can be in the same room without it being a disaster. That's progress. I've started dating someone seriously. Rachel. She's a civil engineer, works for a different firm. We met on a project in Juneau. She knows the whole story. I told her on our third date because I figured if it was going to be a deal-breaker, better to know early. Her response: "Damn, that's brutal, but it sounds like you handled it the only way you could. And it sounds like you're trying to heal now. That takes courage. We've been together 4 months. It's good, healthy, built on honesty and respect and actual communication. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right choice. If I should have stayed away from my family completely. If trying to rebuild is worth the effort and pain." Then I remember my grandmother. Her determination to speak even when her body was failing. Her insistence that I try. I think about what Derek said. That existing isn't the same as living. And I realized that for 3.5 years I was existing. I was safe, protected, numb. Now I'm living. It's messier, harder, more complicated, but it's real. I'm not telling anyone what to do if they're in a similar situation. Everyone's betrayal is different. Everyone's pain is different. Everyone's capacity for forgiveness is different. Some people need to cut their families off completely and never look back. That's valid. That's healthy for them. But for me, I needed to try, not because they deserved it. Not because what they did was okay, but because holding on to that anger was costing me more than they were worth. My grandmother was right. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It doesn't mean letting people hurt you again. It just means refusing to let their betrayal define the rest of your life. I'm still angry sometimes. There are still days when I think about what Cole and Bryn did and I want to rage. Days when I think about my parents hiding it and I want to cut them off again. But those days are getting fewer. And the anger is getting quieter. I'm building a new life. Not the one I planned, not the one I wanted, but a good one, an honest one, and maybe that's enough.